I had the title Almost Love in my phone for a long time because it was just always a constant reoccurring theme in my life. And it didn't happen until, we were on the microphone, and that's kind of usually how I like to get things started, by just finding my melodies, and words kind of naturally come out of those melodies. And as we were singing it, we did the Almost Love. And at first it was something else. It wasn't Almost Love, it was Something Love. And then I went back in my phone and I was like, what about Almost Love? And then the story kind of changed, and the song kind of then was developed around that. And all of these different scenarios where, something almost happens but not quite. And things like that always fascinated me, because I always think about watching classic movies with classic love stories, and what were to happen if you didn't get the last 10 minutes of the movie. For me, the way that I've always looked at it, and the way that I've always looked at writing my music, is I'm going to write whatever I feel in that moment. I'm not going to write, thinking about a specific age group that I have to cater to, because at one point in everybody's life, they're going to feel the same way that I felt, whether they're younger or whether they're older. And a lot of my fans that started with me when I was 14 are now the same age as me. So I think for me, that's the only way that I can truly get to them, is by being honest with myself. People, as they'll see this transition from me, they'll think, oh, she's changing, she's not herself anymore, when really it's the opposite. I am going through these things, and I have to write about them or I will go crazy. A line that I tweeted a couple months before the song actually came out, because it was my favorite line, was, "I want you like a loner wants an empty room." I've always been a sucker for visual lines. And I think that line resonated with me in multiple different ways. And I think that, people in my age can definitely resonate with that line, and just, it kind of speaks for itself in a way. Almost love, but it could be love. It could be love. My pupils get real dilated. No, I'm kidding. Almost Love for me, I think for me it's chemistry and conversation. That's truly what it is. And I definitely know when that's there. It's very obvious to me. And I think that's just because ever since I was a little girl, words and feelings and emotions and art have always been the most prominent thing in my life. So as far as relationships, I think that conversation is the most important thing to me. So baby, what's the hold up? Yeah. I was a little nervous about how they were going to react, because I almost tend to do this thing where every single time I release a new song, it's very different from the one before. And I think it's because I've always just had this mind that has to go 10 places at once, and can't really slow down. And so I'm always kind of ahead of myself, and I always just want to challenge myself. And so it's amazing to see how they reacted to this one in particular, because of course the rest of the album is kind of taken on this journey from this song forward. We could give it a minute, but what's the fun in a minute? One of the reasons why the album is called Singular is because I do believe that each song stands alone. And I think it's definitely a hint as far as the confidence and the vocal maturity and the genre maturity within the next album, but there's definitely going to be a song for everybody, and that's how I truly feel. Is I listen to certain songs and I go, this is how I was feeling one day, this is how I was feeling another day, and they couldn't be more opposite. But I think that's the great thing about pop music nowadays, is it's not one thing, it's everything.